It's February, and you know what that means. It's the month of Black History. Thank you, Carter G. Woodson, for recognizing Negro History Week, turning it into Black History Month. You know, we should be celebrating Black history all year round, but just something so sweet about the month of February and Black people and all of that. I'm Black, it's Black History Month, and I want to talk about some Black history in today's video. So a couple of months ago, I read this book by Carolyn Maul McKinstry, who was a survivor of the 1964 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama, that killed 4 young Black girls. She was a survivor of it, and she wrote a autobiography, coming of age during the civil rights movement book. It was a cool read. For today's video, at the end of the book, she put some sample Jim Crow laws, and I was reading them, and I was just so shocked that lawmakers and policy holders, politicians wrote these laws and were like, yep, let's enforce this. Let's enforce this stupidity. Let's enforce this inequality, and it's gonna be good for us. Segregation now, segregation then, segregation forever.
In the name of the greatest people that have ever trod this earth, I draw the line in the dust and toss the gauntlet before the feet of tyranny, and I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
I'm dumbfounded that these things were like put into law. This is atrocious. Like, they really thought they were doing something. So I just wanted to read some of them and also propose a question that has been a conversation in, I don't even want to say the Black community, but just like in American culture for so long. The use of the N-word, who can say it, who can't say it, why Black people don't want white people saying it, why Black people should still be saying it. As other Black people watching this video, do you use the N-word in your daily conversation? Are you okay with other Black people using the N-word? Are you uncomfortable when people outside of the Black race use the N-word? And why do you still use the N-word if you do so? If you don't use the N-word, why don't you? This isn't a right or wrong type of question. I just want to get some perspective. I'm a Black person who doesn't use the N-word. I don't like even hearing the N-word. It makes me uncomfortable just because me personally, when I hear that word in any iteration, I don't care what the ending is, I just think of all of the people before us, all of our ancestors who were hosed down in the streets.
And we was there getting ready, getting our assignments. Where was we going to march from that day? Bull Connor, he called out the Birmingham Fire Department, told them, turn the water hose on them niggas and they won't have to take a bath. He ordered that. That was an order, direct order from him, and that's what they did. And today I'm deaf in one ear because of that.
Who were lynched. Some of them, the last word they ever heard on earth was this word being thrown at them, used to dehumanize them and to other them. So that's me personally. If I hear Kendrick Lamar or Drake or Tupac or Sexy Red or anybody use, like, I know it's so heavily used in society today, in art, in media, in books, movies, TV shows, music, conversation. It's like a big word that's synonymous with like, oh, you're my homie, you're my friend. But then that same homie or friend could reverse it and be like, hey, you know, it's no longer friendly. It's a word that has a lot of history, a lot of context, a lot of power. And I just want to know what everybody's thoughts on it are. I just told you all my stance. So yeah, I don't use the N-word. When I hear it, I twinge a little bit. Is that a word? A twinge of cringe. I just hurt a little bit for people like these young girls. That's me personally, but I understand other people's perspectives and I just want to learn more. I wanted to expand on this question that I'm proposing to people who are watching this video on, like, if you're a Black person, do you say the N-word? Why do you feel some type of way when non-Black people say the N-word, and its origins and reclaiming the word and redefining the word? A lot of people say that, oh, it's just a word. You give it power. But the N-word to me is a representative symbol of theories and systems and ideas that equate Black people to being less. Yes, the word existed before it was a slur, and through this we can see that to redefine or reclaim doesn't erase the various layers of meaning and intention behind a word that essentially was being really propelled against Black people as soon as we had freedom, as soon as we saw prosperity. I guess my question and confusion is in the claims of like, oh, we as this minority group, whether you're a LGBTQ person or Asian person, LGBTQ slurs that they have reclaimed, Asian and Jewish slurs that have been reclaimed and redefined by people a part of those communities, redefining something and the parameters and boundaries of that can become blurry. In one minute you could be like, what up my N, in a friendly way, then you go inside your house and your woman is calling you busted N-word, how Summer Walker would be like,
say wait, I say nigga, you say bitch, you say sorry, then we kiss.
it's kind of like a word you would use to degrade, or even just be like, oh, that's my N, like that's my male partner. And then the next you're using it to actually insinuate, like how Chris Rock was like, I love black people but I hate N-words. And it's just like the reclamation is blurred. It's blurry. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So without further ado, let's read some of these sample Jim Crow laws. Colored persons may not address white persons by their given names. They must always use titles of respect, like Mr., Mrs., Miss, Sir, or Ma'am. Whites must not use courtesy titles of respect when referring to blacks. Instead, blacks must be called by their first names. This reminds me of like during slavery and even afterwards. It's like a sign of extreme disrespect if a white man calls you boy and you're like a grown man and they just call you boy to like demean you because you're black and emasculate a black man.
You hand me that there thread there, boy. You the only one can reach it, tall boy. Hand it to me now.
This thread right here?
Yeah, boy.
What's with the boy? Why you keep saying boy though?
You hear what I'm saying, boy? You're a boy to him. That's what, hear what he said, right? Don't you touch him, boy. He's part of me. Nah, bro, it's a prank, bro.
Blacks must be introduced to whites, never whites to blacks. For example, Mr. Peters, the white person. This is Charlie, the black person, about whom I spoke to you. So it can never be like, Charlie, this is Mr. Peter. Okay. A black man cannot offer his hand to shake with a white man because it implies social equality. A black male is forbidden from offering his hand or any other part of his body to a white woman. Yeah, this goes back to like pure, innocent, virgin white woman who doesn't do anything wrong, and she's so innocent and pure and dainty and soft, and this big burly black man, he can't have any parts of his body near her. It's very sad. Very, very sad. All persons licensed to conduct a restaurant shall serve either white people exclusively or colored people exclusively, and shall not sell to the two races within the same room or under the same license. As a business owner, you're losing money, but whatever. Capitalism. I gagged when I saw this. When crossing an intersection, a black driver must always give the right of way to the white driver. Or what? I just thought this was insane because it's like, I guess if the black person doesn't give the right of way, the white person will drive to the police station and tell on them and they get arrested.
That doesn't make no sense.
The definition of unfair. But all of these laws are unfair. They're rooted in racist sociology because a lot of these foundational disciplines like psychology and sociology and medicine is rooted in racism. They either used extreme bias against blacks and minorities or they completely excluded them from studies. So they really thought like putting these things into law was what was only divine and right. No person or corporation shall require any white female nurse to nurse in wards or rooms in hospitals, either public or private, in which Negro men are placed. Big emphasis on Negro men. They did not want to see no interracial, big burly black man rape their precious, dainty white woman. Again, as a nurse, I'm pretty sure most people in healthcare take an oath to help people in their time of need, but because they did not see black people as people, they excluded black people from getting necessary help. And I guess they were like justified in that. Yep, I'm a nurse. Yep, I'm not helping any black person, but I do love and care for everybody, just not black people. I went to school and took an oath to care and love everybody except for blacks. Yeah. Separate schools must be established for the education of children of African descent. It is unlawful for colored children to attend any white school or any white children to attend a colored school. School textbooks must not be exchanged between the white and colored schools. Now, this is just explicit. We don't want white children being taught the same things as black children. Whatever the black child learns has to be less than what the white child learned. We'd rather burn the books on physics and literature that our white children read. We don't need those black children getting that same information. If an instructor teaches in any school, college, or institution where white and colored students are enrolled as pupils, he will be deemed guilty of a misdemeanor and upon conviction be fined. And it's he, because women are stupid. This is the last one. It shall be unlawful for a Negro and white person to play together or in company with each other at any game of pool or billiards. So we can't even have fun? Obviously, these laws are not in place anymore, but the effects of them are still at play. These were just sample Jim Crow laws. There's so many more that were enforced in different states across the United States during the 1900s. I just wanted to reflect on some this month just to see that the fight isn't over. Will it ever be over? Will there ever truly be peace and humanism in the world? By the way everything is set up, history repeats itself, and we should never forget where we come from. It's very important to be knowledgeable about the privileges we're afforded in this country, not because of Bill Clinton, not because of Franklin Roosevelt, but because of our ancestors who had enough gumption and were tired of shit like this, that they decided to take a stand, to take a risk, to put their neck out for the betterment of the following generations, which is us. Never stop reading. Don't take information as face value. Always do your own research. Schools are not teaching us about murders like this. They did not talk about this in our U.S. history class in high school. Think for yourself. Always celebrate who you are and what makes you you. Happy Black History Month. More to come.